came from, the dreams we had, the love we shared. This is what we're waiting for. And in my mind, in my head, this is where we all came from. The dreams we had, the love we shared. This is what we're waiting for. In my mind, in my head, this is where we all come. In my mind, in my head, this is where we all come. In my mind, in my head, this is where we all came from. The dreams we had, the love we shared. This is what we're waiting for.
What is going on, YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. We have a big week this week. The CPI print comes out Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday, and it's expected to come in low. Last print was about 4%. So I've seen numbers as low as 3.1 up to 3.5, but the key takeaway is all of those are lower. Now that's year over year, the headline CPI. What most people aren't telling you, and you guys already know that go grocery shopping, what most people aren't telling you, if you just look at the first 6 months of this year, inflation actually annualized would be out to 6%. This could end up being one of the low prints or the low print for the year, depending on the track for inflation, because despite how headlines in the media keep talking about inflation's coming down, which you'll hear that over and over again come Wednesday, inflation has never flipped negative. You have to understand these are rates of change, the speed of the rate of change. So all of these numbers are still positive for inflation growth. And because of the way that it's measured year over year, you see the number drop off as the bigger numbers have previously dropped off from the peak inflation. But inflation overall this year has been accelerating. So this happened in the 1980s. This happened in the 70s. This is when you get inflation moving in waves like everything else, like price moves in waves. But that's a conversation for later down the road. The peak euphoria is going to be based off this print, which again, if the Fed is correct on their Fed Nowcast, you're looking at 3.1 to 3.5, which is lower than the last month. So that should cause some type of rally. Let's dig into this. Let's look at some breakout targets of where this could go, where we can find resistance. We're going to look at the S&P. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at the euro dollar. If I have time, I'll throw up a couple other charts here, NASDAQ, JPN, and maybe Tesla as well. Let's go ahead and jump into this, guys. Let's start off on the VIX. So the VIX bounced back up off of this lowest level that it's been in since pre-pandemic, down there in the 12 region, 12, 13 region, bounced back up, got up to almost 17 at one point, and now it's retracing back down. The markets are probably going to be pretty stagnant today and tomorrow, waiting for this number. Okay, you're waiting for that CPI number. That's going to drive the FOMO more into the marketplace. Let's look at the DXY. DXY, same thing. Dollar showing weakness, printed a double top here, almost at the neckline. Again, if the CPI drops, you can see the dollar drop, but you can see where it can hold support. And as you can see here, it's been holding support, and dollar dropping is good for cryptos. It's good for equities, at least here in the short term. It's been holding support right about the 100 level, okay? Almost 100 or almost 101. So if this breaks, you want to see if that 100 level holds. You can see that's also my 1 fib, 100 spot 390. That needs to hold here for the dollar. Now, what will the Fed do if inflation year over year is still coming down? Well, they have 700 PhDs that work at the Fed. So one would assume, however, you know how dangerous it is to assume anything, especially with people that work in white collar jobs for the government. One would assume they realize that inflation, especially core, has not been coming down at all in this inflationary cycle. So they're talking about being aggressive, raising here in July, raising again in September. Are these going to be quarter point hikes? That's what the market's pricing in, at least for July. It's still up in the air about September. But look, the Taylor rule would have you at 7% rates right now. We're at 5%. We're not at restrictive, which is why you still see this overheated economy in some sectors. And other sectors like manufacturing, you don't see it. But you still see this overheated economy due to all the liquidity that we've dumped into the marketplace. And our national debt has just passed $32 trillion. And it's set to pass 33 trillion by the end of the summer. Absolutely mental, these numbers when you visualize them. But this is what the DXY is doing, guys. So if this breaks this double top here, as you guys can see right here, if this breaks this double top, CPI is low. If equities rally, you can see the DXY come down. You want to see if you hold 100. What's this going to do for the euro dollar? This is Forex now, guys. EUR USD. Well, some key levels I want you to watch here because we have some competing patterns here that I've been tracking and here on the Discord as well. By the way, guys, if you want to get any of these trades, come check out our Discord. It is free. If you want to check out Simple FX or BingX, help support this channel. You can try out those exchanges, Simple FX to trade Forex, all the equities, handful of cryptos, and of course BingX to trade all of the cryptos and all of the altcoins as well. All that detail is in the video description. You do get a free month in Market Makers with our professional staff and fantastic community of thousands and thousands of people. Message Lee in the Telegram. That's also in the video description. How to join, how to get on the exchanges. It's all there. Take a peep. And by the way, click the like button, hit the subscribe button if you like this information that I give you. Euro dollar, guys. So when we look at this again, it's all about the accuracy of your wave count and the patterns that form from it here with your fibs. One fib is a key area, which is one spot 1065. Okay. That's where we found a lot of resistance. This formed a really nice trade for a nice move down, a nice retracement down. And now we have a wave coming back up here. I have a target here if the DXY breaks down more. I'm looking at the 1272 up here, which is one spot 1215. So let me show you this as well, because you can see I have a reciprocal ratio pattern going on here. It's essentially 786, 1272. But let me get rid of this and show you this, and then we're going to move on to the S&P and Bitcoin. So this is also what I'm looking at, guys. Just looking at my sequencing here. We have this move up going up to just about 5.5%. DXY falls. We have a nice double bottom structure coming in here as well, right? You can see that. DXY falls. The 1272 almost gives you an identical match here of 5.45% for this next move, okay? So you can see that, and then if we want to go ahead and measure this as well on a wave projection, you can see where this lines up at. Look where my one fib lines up at, the symmetrical move at one spot, 12104, right on top of that 1272. So this is a key area. Now, obviously, you can trade breakouts up here. We're going to be looking at euro dollar trades on the Discord as well if this does break out to the upside, which structurally it wants to. You have a low, you have a higher low, you have a deeper low. So you're making higher lows in range. That's my impulse move I'm looking for up here on the euro dollar. And of course, this will also give us a X5 geometric pattern here as well, which will look quite simply like this without the filler right here, giving us the 1272 retracement X to D as well. Let's jump over to the S&P. So S&P, so looking at our Leides trend line, guys, we're back, hit the trend line once again, and we've been rejected from it. S&P is trying to hold 4,400. You can see I have this wave count up here. Again, accuracy of your fibs, understanding wave patterns. This is a monthly chart on the log scale. If you want to see my wave counts, I deep dived into it the last video, got a lot of views, over 10,000, 11,000 views on that last video. I deep dived the wave counts here so you can see what we're looking at, but all about the accuracy, not about the rules, understanding harmonic cycles. 2.618, 48.29 gave you the top. And we have the trend line that we're hitting, providing very strong resistance. As you guys know, what I'm expecting here is this, go over this in detail in the last video. This is just going to be our A and our B, wherever this goes. We'll look at the targets, and then our C correction down. And I have that correction going to 31.31 after this pump fails. else. Let's look at this on the daily time frame. Again, the pink is the larger AB from the monthly. We have a smaller 5 count here for the wave B, as you can see, but this is the key inflection point right now on the S&P. Again, 44.59 accuracy of your fibs. Took a trade on this drop as well. We'll look at the pivot pattern. We got this nice short out of it, got our pump back up, retested the same area, sold back off, but you have your higher low structure in place once again. Where is it going? My target for this, based on this 5-wave projection, is 45.44. That should complete our larger B move on the monthly time frame if we get up to this level. Could you break the level and go higher? Of course you can. This is TA. This is what I expect to happen, and looking for a topping structure very similar to something like this, but obviously with more weakness to form up at this next level. Okay. So that's the level I'm looking at, 45.44. Could you trade this to the upside? Yeah, of course you could. You can see your key resistance here is 44.59. You failed at it twice already. So you're trading at just under 4,400 now, 43.99. If we look at this from a Fibonacci perspective as well, let's zoom in here a little bit. Look at our retracements and see if we're holding our key retracement levels. Grab a Fibonacci retracement. Got to add some levels here. What do I want to look at? I want to look at the 618 and only the 618. You can see it right here. 618, hit this retracement. When you start going past a 618, you always want to look for 0.5, 618 retracements. If you start going past the 618 retracement, you start bringing unbalanced retracement levels, meaning a 618, you have the bias to retrace towards the 1 fib. Okay, it's a reversal of trend. So you want to make sure your 618s are holding up. And if you look at this, again, let's do another retracement for this current wave projection. Look what you landed on once again. So you have your 618, your 618, as you can see, holding trend. So you need to hold 43.81. I gave this prediction, by the way, in this descending market in the Discord that we're going to fall to 43.83, which was my 618. And that's exactly what we bounced off of. Okay. So that's where we're at, looking for this last move up to that 45.44 with a low CPI, with FOMO. Dumb money will pour in, then we'll chase the rally, and then we're looking for a topping structure if that's how this sequence is going to play out, which I believe that is how it's going to play out. Looking at my momentum master, we have some momentum here, divergence with the price. We have the MFI came down off its peak here. Price kept accelerating. We have bearish divergence on the money flow, the paper in the marketplace as price went back up. So again, looking for that last impulse up, which would be from here, about 144 points. Could we get there? Yeah, I mean, we could easily get there with a low CPI print. Now, conversely, guys, I mean, I should not have to say this, but I'm going to. Obviously, if the CPI surprises the Fed, again, I have no insight outside of the data that's out there provided by the Fed, but if the CPI surprises to the upside, the market's just going to tank, because that means the Fed's going to have to be even more aggressive raising rates. So I'm giving you the scenario based on a low CPI, okay? CPI showing progress year over year coming in here, because the market's not going to care as much about the month over month. Big money watches it, but the dumb money is going to fly into this, and I think they're going to pump this thing up to 45.44. At least that's what I'm looking at for a potential top and a potential excellent trade. Let's look at this on the pivot pattern once again. June 14th pivot, got our nice pivot, traded this drop here in the room, got this pump up. Again, same exact resistance. This is a daily chart. You just saw this chart. Just want to show you how this is playing out on the pivot. If we get our move back up, looking for a top, and then I'm looking for a bigger, larger retracement, guys. And then our next pivot would be August 14th for a potential change in direction. So if we do have this topping pattern forming, let me show you back on this chart. If we do have this topping pattern forming, let me show you how this will play out. This is what I'm looking for here. Now that we have the fibs all laid out, let's zoom in here so you guys can see this on your flip phones. Let's look at this. So if we have this topping pattern, let me show you this with a, where's the correction thing here? Here it is, triangle wave. So this is what I'm looking at, guys, for this move, okay? So we have our A, our B, our C, our D. This would be our E up here, okay? 45, 44. This is the move I'm looking for price to finally top out and then give us a retracement. That retracement could be 9% like previous retracements. Retracement could be a lot deeper. Lots of things are out there, guys. Lots of black swans are floating around in a pond. I'm just waiting for one of them to take off. Black swans are unforeseen events in the marketplace. Could be economic data, could be the Fed speak. The Fed could surprise and do 50, even though I don't think they will. But, there's lots of variables that could happen. But I think that first variable is pretty obvious at this juncture. You have your lower highs, you have a predicted lower CPI. You're going to get that move up. Whether that 45, 44 level holds or not, that's the key, but we shall see that. And again, if I was going to trade this on some type of breakout, you'd want to see your resistance that's been tested twice, 4459. You want to see that get flipped on its way to 45.44. I'm sorry, that's the upside target. Let's go ahead and flip over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, what does that mean? If the S&P goes up, the dollar drops, the VIX will drop. But what does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's just going to look at market symmetry, I believe. 63% up wave, 58.72, 60.76. This is your geometric mean of 61. Lands you beautifully at 39,791. If it does this, and again, this is just market symmetry, doesn't have to do this, could come down to 34,770 from here. What Bitcoin's doing here, 3-day charts, just stacking really tight candles, okay? But again, you have your wave up. This is geometric symmetry. You have 22% retracement, 20% retracement, looking at these 60% up moves. That's your topping potential up there, 39,791. Okay, will we be trading this in a room? Of course we would. Should come check out the room. But this is what we're looking at here, 1618, 30,825. That's your key resistance. If Bitcoin does fail, again, higher CPI, which is not expected, or some other black swan type event takes place, you could be retracing from this level you're at, but this wants to pulse up, guys. This wants to move up, okay? I mean, I can tell just by looking at the charts, it wants to move up. Bullish on the MFI here on the 3-day chart, bullish momentum still as well. So again, that first target to take out is 34,770, but if the S&P does want to continue its move up and try out that 45, 44 level, then Bitcoin could easily do this impulse up to 39,791 as well. It moves quite violently, would give you 3 symmetrical up waves as well. But let's see how that plays out. Bitcoin on the 1 hour, again, if I was going to trade this, I would be looking at this vis-a-vis our fractal trading system as well. But your key resistance up here, the 1618, 30,823 has to be flipped. Depending how aggressive people would like to get, how I would like to get, you could trade this on a lower fractal. You could trade this on a higher fractal. A lot of this for me is all about trading with confluence. Is the S&P moving up? Did the CPI show a strong drop? Did the markets get FOMO about it? Did the crypto space get FOMO about it? If those answers are yes, then there's different ways you can track your entries. So some of these ways, by the way, you can come and learn in the Discord, guys. Looking at this on the NASDAQ hit, again, the Fib projections beautifully based off waves. 15,145, 15,293, double top structure. But again, it is a double top structure, but it is also a low and a higher low. And this is what the price traders that only trade price and don't follow economic conditions and economic action are missing out. Low CPI, this thing's going to move up. Where could this move up to? That is a key question of where this could move up to. Let's get some targets here. Let's get our 2618 right here, guys. 15,764 would be my next leg up. S&P goes to 45.44. Look for the NASDAQ to come up to 15,764. Does it have to? No. Did it build a double top structure here? Yes. Would the S&P go up 150 points without the NASDAQ moving up at all? I don't think so. I think this is going to move up, and I think you'd be looking at 15,764 with a low CPI. So again, something you guys can watch. JPN, same situation here. Beautiful. Look at the wave hit. Wave 5 hit, 2618, 33,633. Beautiful hit here, almost to the dollar, got to 33,680, within $50 on a 33 plus $1,000 asset. Now, what you're doing here on the JPN is you are holding support, as you guys can see. You're right at this neckline of this double top. Look at that, literally resting on that right at 31,983. You're at 31,997. So this can move without the S&P. Obviously, it is a different market, but these markets all track the larger US equity markets. What I think would happen is if the S&P did rise, you're going to see an attempted retest of this line here of 33,633. Once again, just basically giving you a triangle wave type correction. Okay, this is this type of move here. I don't call these triangle waves, but that's what TradingView calls them. So that's what I'm showing you. You can hit this same line, you could go higher, but that's what I'd essentially be looking at. It's your first real key test. If this wants to follow the S&P back up, 33,633. I don't think it's a coincidence. It's holding this neckline while the U.S. equity markets are relatively flat, waiting for the CPI, waiting for the FOMO to kick back in the marketplace. Let's see what Tesla is doing because we got some bingo extra time here. Looking at Tesla, guys, we got to our 150. 2618 was the target. We got a retracement, bounce back up here on the daily. Tesla beat their delivery numbers and they flew up some. Sorry, I keep scratching my nose. I was at the White House. But Tesla beat their deliveries and they're back testing the 2618. You're at 269. You're back testing the 268. If everything moves up, where could this go? Well, the next obvious target, guys, 299. Because when your fibs track accurately, like this did, you want to keep your fibs in place and look at this. But 269 to 299 could be the next obvious target. And of course, on a smaller level, you could also just form another shape, a slightly higher high, make a double top. But this is just the daily, the macro view for what's happening in the marketplace. Guys, I saw some of your requests. Some of you guys in the comments were requesting individual stocks. I'm sorry to not have a chance to get to them. Some people were requesting altcoins. All of that information from myself and our other professional staff is available on our Discord. Highly suggest you come check it out. We can do charts for you as well. Not a problem. All right, everybody, take care. Fed is Wednesday. Look for that CPI number. And guys, if we have market action, you're going to see my Thursday video. We'll put that out there to go over what just happened. All right, take care, everybody.